Okay, thanks to our mates at Niedercar, we're headed for the Wild West. The 24th annual Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival, or simply Kumeu as it's known to its fans, has made itself just a bit of an icon out West Auckland way. Sprawled out across the Kumeu showgrounds, the festival is a combination of indoor and outdoor displays, supported by trade stands, a swap meet, and plenty of other stuff to keep you entertained for a weekend. And a weekend it was for many, with camping on site and Friday's setup day pretty much an unofficial show day. Present for a big chunk of the festival's 24 years, Alistair's Holden.
It's a 1977 Tirana hatchback. It's got a Chevy 355 in it with a 671 supercharger. It pushes out somewhere, it's never been dynoed, but it's on paper should be around 600, 650 horse, somewhere around there. Built in 1999, we finished it, and it's been at Kumeu Car Show every year since then. So, yeah, it's part of the furniture. I had one before this one, and I always wanted to sort of do this to it, but it was too nice a car to chop up. So, went searching for a wreck when I found this one. It was actually a brand new body shell, so it was just literally a bare body, but it had its problems along with it, trying to source parts. But yeah, I just always wanted to do that to one, so yeah.
Alistair spends his days at North Shore's Real Rides, but this Tirana was built right at home.
Yeah, it was good doing everything in the garage. Yeah, the whole car was, apart from the outside paint, the body on the outside was the only time I left the garage to get that done.
Another Kumeu regular, the Miniature Petrol Head Club. All the thrills of hot rodding, but on a smaller scale.
We make scale model cars, hot rods, any sort of automotive vehicle. Club's been going for about 16 years. I've been a member for about 12, and we've got about 60 odd members throughout New Zealand. You can build sort of a box stock standard out of the box kit set in about sort of 8 to 10 hours, or you can spend 50, 60, 100 hours on something depending on what it is and the complexity of it. A lot of work involved in getting them to look really, really good. But the new kit sets, they're a lot easier to build, and you get a great result.
And while they may be a little lighter on the wallet and garage space, the builds share a lot with their real-life counterparts.
It's great fun chopping roofs on cars and pancaking the hoods and swap engines out, lower the suspension, all that sort of stuff. Everything that the custom car guys do, we do as well, just on a smaller scale. Most of our members have got full-size cars as well. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and we actively seek new members.
He might be a regular, but 2018's Kumeu was a lot more memorable for a young gent named Rob Bright. Roped into giving a hand with an unveil, you can imagine Rob was more than a little surprised to find his own car underneath.
Mate, I was walking through going, such and such, and then everyone was just, it was weird. Had no idea what was going on until I got called up, and I was like, still didn't even know. I was standing next to my car and just no idea. Yeah.
For this tight family, keeping the bucket build under wraps was quite the challenge.
It was very hard. I mean, I've been going to work in the mornings doing one job or two, and then rushing away and working till midnight and 10 o'clock and stuff, and Robert's been moaning because we work together, so he's been complaining to his mother that I'm not at work, and yeah, so it's been hard. I mean, he had bits and pieces, and we talked about colours, and he talked about, silver would be a good colour for a T-bucket, and it's not as common as a lot of other colours for T-buckets, so we had a rough idea of what it was going to look like, but still a few bits we have to iron out. It's just about ready, as you can see, bits missing off the back and stuff, but it was a mad push just to get it here at all, and it was a lot of people put in a lot of effort to get it to where it is.
It'd be safe to assume Father's Day this year may have gone up a notch or two.
Should be pretty good, I think, yeah. I don't think I'll have to pay for any beer this weekend, put it that way.
We're back at Kumeu, or if we're being formal, the 24th annual Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival in West Auckland. Bad weather has had a couple of cracks at the show in recent years, and 2018 was forecast to cop a bit of rain. Turned out to be quite the opposite, in fact. But Eastbay Rods' indoor show still proved to be popular. Respite from the sun and an impressive collection of pre-49 hot rods to mark the club's 50th year.
Seems like a long time, but it seems like yesterday in some ways. It just flies by, doesn't it?
Eastbay Rods was founded in 1968 by 8 hot rodders with a thing for the pre-49 look. The cars would have been a bit newer then. Since, they've hosted a number of successful events, both national and provincial, and these days the club boasts over 80 members. 50 years have passed, but that dedication to the pre-49 hot rod hasn't changed a bit.
That's why we started the club in the first place, because the other clubs catered for a more vast range of cars, and we wanted to stick with the traditional American type vehicles. So yeah,
I think that is one of the highlights of this year, is being able to show the public, what sort of cars that we're into. So far, so good. Back in the early days, you could buy cars, quite cheap, do a slight modification to them, and they're on the road. Nowadays, because of the age of the cars, we try to look after them a little bit better. So hence, the quality of the car just keeps on going up and up.
it's amazing. We've still got 3 of the original members are still involved with the club, which is pretty good out of the original 8. We've only lost 1, and the other people are still sort of in contact with us anyway, so it's pretty good after 50 years.
Hard at work all weekend was well-known local pinstriper and custom painter Chaz Allen.
Today we are pinstriping hot rods, motorbikes, and anything that sort of people want to bring into us. Helmets, motorbike tanks, man, we get all sorts. Out-of-towners, being able to get a little bit of artwork that I probably couldn't travel to. And yeah, it's a good chance for me to display what we can do with the automotive painting.
For Chaz, applying his craft on location presents a few new considerations.
Oh, totally. Yeah, we've got weather, people, dust, rain, wind, and yeah, not just being in my little habitat is pretty hard work, but we get it done. People will just turn up with their hot rods, I sort of go over with them, colours, combos, how big, and a budget, and then away we go. Yeah, we've been doing it maybe 9-10 years now. The airbrushing thing was kicking off, and I just wanted to go the traditional hand-painted way. Now it's an absolute fad. Man, it's cool. They all want traditional, original stuff. They'd rather pay a little bit more money and say no to vinyl. Amazing. Yeah. Man, the kick that I get out of when people turn up and see their hot rods. As an apprentice car painter, I couldn't imagine being a custom painter and pinstriper ever. So, now living the dream, guys.
And with the festival chalking up 24 not out, make sure you mark a Kumeu-sized circle in your 2019 calendar to see how they celebrate quarter of a century. One thing's for sure, it'll be in style.